You know what breaks my heart as a urologist? It's not the complex cases or the rare conditions. It's watching men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond walk into my office carrying shame about something completely normal aging. But here's what really gets me. Most of the intimate struggles they're facing aren't because their bodies have given up. They're happening because of 7 specific mistakes that almost nobody talks about. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, these aren't the mistakes you think they are. I'm Dr. Narita, and I've spent 12 years helping men navigate the changes that come with getting older. And if you're watching this right now, I want you to know something. What you're experiencing isn't a life sentence. It's not something you just have to live with. Most of the time, it's something we can understand, address, and improve. Before we go any further, do me a favor, hit that like button if you want more honest health conversations like this one, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. I read every single one, and it reminds me why I do this work. Now, let's talk about what's really going on. Here's the myth I hear constantly. Doc, I'm over 60. This is just what happens. There's nothing I can do. And I understand why men believe that. Society tells us that aging means accepting decline. Your friends joke about it. Commercials suggest the only solution is a little blue pill. Even some doctors, and I hate saying this, will brush off your concerns with, well, you're getting older. But here's the truth that most men never hear. Your body at 60, 70, or 80 is still remarkably capable of intimacy, pleasure, and connection. Yes, things change. Hormones shift. Blood flow patterns adjust. Recovery takes longer. But decline, that's not inevitable. What is happening is this. Most men are unknowingly making 7 specific errors that amplify the natural changes of aging. These mistakes affect your circulation, your hormone balance, your nervous system response, and your mental state. They create a cascade effect where one small problem triggers another, then another, until you're dealing with something that feels overwhelming. But here's the beautiful part, and please hear me on this, most of these errors are completely reversible, not overnight, not with some miracle cure, but with understanding and small, consistent adjustments. So today, we're going to walk through these 7 overlooked mistakes together. I'm going to explain what's actually happening in your body, why it matters to your daily life and dignity, and most importantly, what you can do about it. Now, before we dive in, I want to share why this conversation matters so much to me personally. In my 12 years as a urologist, I've sat across from thousands of men having the hardest conversations of their lives. I've seen the frustration in their eyes. I've heard the silence that fills the room when they can't find the words. I've watched marriages strain under the weight of things that aren't being said. But I've also witnessed something incredible. When men understand what's happening in their bodies, not just the what, but the why, everything changes. The shame lifts, the fear becomes manageable, and suddenly, improvement doesn't seem impossible anymore. I remember one patient, Roger, who came to see me at 67. He'd been avoiding intimacy with his wife for 2 years because he was terrified of failing. But when we uncovered that his real issue was a combination of medication side effects, poor circulation from inactivity, and chronic stress, he wasn't addressing things we could actually work with, his entire demeanor shifted. 6 months later, he told me he felt like himself again. Not like he was 25, like himself. And that's what we're after here. This isn't about turning back time. It's about understanding your body well enough to work with it, not against it. So let's get into these 7 errors. And I promise you, at least 2 or 3 of these are going to sound familiar. Error number 7, ignoring the medication side effects hiding in plain sight. Let's start with something that affects almost every man over 60, but hardly anyone connects the dots on: medications. If you're taking pills for blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, depression, or even just occasional heartburn, there's a very real chance those medications are affecting your intimate health, and nobody warned you about it. Here's what's happening biologically. Many common medications, especially blood pressure drugs, antidepressants, and even some acid reflux treatments, affect the delicate balance of neurotransmitters and blood flow that intimacy requires. They're doing their job for your heart or your mood, but they're also dampening signals, reducing circulation to certain areas, or altering hormone metabolism. Now, emotionally, this is devastating because you think something's wrong with you. You think you're broken. But really, your medication is just creating an unintended side effect that nobody mentioned when you picked up that prescription. Practically, this shows up as difficulty with arousal, reduced sensitivity, delayed response times, or sometimes complete disinterest. And because it happens gradually, you might not even realize it started when you began a new medication 6 months ago. Here's what to do. Don't stop your medication. Please, I cannot stress this enough. Don't just quit taking something your doctor prescribed, but do have an honest conversation with your physician. Say, I've noticed changes in my intimate health since starting this medication. Are there alternatives we can try that might have fewer side effects in this area? Many times, there are. Different classes of blood pressure medications, for example, have vastly different side effect profiles. Your doctor can often find something that protects your heart without compromising your intimate life. And if you're watching this thinking, I should probably check this out, drop a comment below. Let me know if this resonates, because I guarantee you're not alone. Era number 6, treating your body like it still runs on 30-year-old fuel. This one's tough because nobody wants to hear it, but I'm going to say it with love. What you eat matters more now than it ever has. When you were younger, your body could compensate for a poor diet. Your vascular system was resilient. Your hormone production was robust. You could eat fast food 3 times a week and still function fine. But after 60, your body needs support. And one of the biggest overlooked errors I see is men continuing to eat inflammatory, circulation-damaging foods without realizing how directly it affects their intimate health. Here's the biology. Intimacy requires excellent blood flow. Your blood vessels need to dilate quickly and efficiently. But when your diet is high in processed foods, excess sugar, and unhealthy fats, you develop something called endothelial dysfunction. That's just a fancy way of saying the inner lining of your blood vessels gets stiff and inflamed. Blood doesn't flow as freely, and that affects everywhere blood needs to go, including the areas critical for intimate function. Emotionally, this shows up as frustration and confusion. You think, why isn't my body working? But your body is working, it's just working with the materials you're giving it. Practically, this means difficulty achieving and maintaining firmness, reduced stamina, and longer recovery times between intimate encounters. Here's what to do. Start thinking of food as medicine. Focus on foods that support vascular health, leafy greens, berries, nuts, fatty fish like salmon, and yes, even dark chocolate in moderation. These foods are rich in nitric oxide precursors and antioxidants that help your blood vessels stay flexible. Cut back on the obvious culprits: excessive sugar, fried foods, and highly processed meals. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be consistent. And remember, this isn't about deprivation. It's about fueling your body for the life you want to live. Error number 5, believing that inactivity is taking it easy. Here's a question I ask every man who comes into my office. How much movement are you getting every day? And the answer far too often is not much. I'm retired. I'm taking it easy. Gentlemen, I need you to hear this. Inactivity is not rest. It's not preservation. After 60, inactivity is one of the fastest paths to functional decline, including in your intimate life. Here's why. Intimacy is a cardiovascular event. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, your muscles engage. If your cardiovascular system isn't getting regular exercise, it can't perform when you need it to. Biologically, regular movement keeps your blood vessels flexible, maintains healthy testosterone levels, improves oxygen delivery throughout your body, and supports the nervous system responses required for arousal and pleasure. When you're inactive, the opposite happens. Your circulation slows, your muscle mass decreases, your testosterone production drops even further. And all of this creates a feedback loop where intimacy becomes harder, so you avoid it, which makes it even harder next time. Emotionally, this creates a sense of helplessness. You feel like your body has betrayed you, but in reality, your body is just responding to the signals you're giving it, and right now, you're signaling that it doesn't need to maintain those functions. Practically, this shows up as fatigue during intimacy, difficulty with arousal, reduced libido, and sometimes even anxiety about whether your body will cooperate. Here's what to do. You don't need to become a marathon runner. You need consistent, moderate movement. 30 minutes of walking daily is genuinely transformative. Add in some light resistance training twice a week, even bodyweight squats and wall push-ups, and you're supporting your cardiovascular system, your hormones, and your overall vitality. Here's the truth. Movement is medicine, and it's one of the most powerful medicines available for maintaining intimate health after 60. If this one hits home, smash that subscribe button. More real, actionable health advice is coming your way every week. Error number 4, Underestimating the power of chronic stress. This is the silent killer of intimate health that almost nobody talks about. You might think stress is just in your head, that it's psychological, not physical. But let me tell you what happens in your body when stress becomes chronic. Your body releases cortisol, a stress hormone. In short bursts, cortisol is helpful. It prepares you for action. But when stress never stops, financial worry, health anxiety, relationship tension, even just the constant low-level stress of getting older, cortisol stays elevated. And here's what chronically elevated cortisol does. It suppresses testosterone production. It constricts blood vessels. It activates your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight mode, which is the exact opposite of the parasympathetic rest and digest state your body needs to be in for intimacy. Biologically, this creates a hostile environment for intimate function. You can't be simultaneously stressed and aroused. Your nervous system won't allow it. Emotionally, chronic stress makes you irritable, disconnected, and withdrawn. You might lose interest in intimacy not because you don't love your partner, but because your nervous system is in survival mode. Intimacy feels like one more demand on a system that's already overwhelmed. Practically, this shows up as low libido, difficulty with arousal, performance anxiety, and sometimes complete avoidance of intimate situations because the pressure feels unbearable. Now, here's the part that men often don't realize. Stress isn't just about big life events. It's about the daily accumulation of unprocessed emotions, unresolved conflicts, and the weight of things you're carrying alone. Here's what to do. You need a daily stress reset. This isn't optional, it's essential. For some men, it's 10 minutes of deep breathing exercises. For others, it's a daily walk in nature. Some find relief in journaling or talking to a trusted friend. The specific practice matters less than the consistency. Also, consider this. Are you talking about what's stressing you, or are you holding it all inside? Because isolation amplifies stress. Connection dissolves it. And if you're thinking, I don't have time for stress management, I hear you. But if stress is stealing your vitality, your intimacy, and your joy, can you really afford not to make time? Error number 3, accepting poor sleep as normal. How many hours of quality sleep did you get last night? And I don't mean how long you were in bed, I mean deep, restorative sleep. If you're like most men over 60, the answer is probably not enough. And this is absolutely destroying your intimate health. Here's what happens while you sleep. Your body produces testosterone. Not during the day, during deep sleep, particularly in the early morning hours. If you're not sleeping well, whether because of sleep apnea, frequent bathroom trips, stress, or just poor sleep habits, your testosterone production plummets. Lower testosterone means lower libido, reduced energy, difficulty with arousal, and decreased overall vitality. Biologically, sleep is when your body repairs itself. Your blood vessels regenerate, your hormone systems recalibrate, your nervous system recovers from the day's stress. Without adequate sleep, none of that happens properly. Emotionally, poor sleep makes you irritable, foggy, and disconnected. You're exhausted. Intimacy feels like one more thing you don't have energy for. Practically, this shows up as low morning arousal, which is actually a key indicator of healthy testosterone levels, reduced interest in intimacy, and fatigue that makes physical activity feel overwhelming. Here's what to do. Prioritize sleep like your life depends on it because your quality of life absolutely does. Create a sleep routine. Same bedtime every night. Cool, dark room. No screens an hour before bed. If you're getting up multiple times to urinate, talk to your doctor about prostate health that's often treatable. If you snore heavily or wake up gasping, get evaluated for sleep apnea. Treating sleep apnea doesn't just improve your sleep, it can dramatically improve intimate function by restoring oxygen levels and hormone production. And here's something most men don't know. Even 1 week of improved sleep can start shifting your hormone levels in the right direction. This is one area where you can see relatively quick results. Error number 2, letting dehydration sabotage your circulation. This one sounds almost too simple to matter, but I see it constantly. Men are chronically dehydrated and have no idea how much it's affecting their intimate health. Here's the biology. Blood is mostly water. When you're dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker, circulation slows, blood pressure can rise, and all of that makes it harder for blood to flow efficiently to the areas it needs to reach for intimate function. Your body also needs adequate hydration to produce seminal fluid, maintain healthy mucous membranes, and support the smooth muscle contractions involved in intimacy. When you're dehydrated, everything becomes harder, literally and figuratively. Emotionally, dehydration makes you feel sluggish and foggy. You might not connect it to your intimate life, but it's affecting your overall vitality. Practically, chronic dehydration contributes to difficulty with arousal, reduced staying power, and less satisfying experiences overall. Here's what to do. Drink water consistently throughout the day. Not just when you're thirsty by then, you're already dehydrated. Aim for about 8 glasses a day, more if you're active or live in a warm climate. And yes, I know that means more bathroom trips, but proper hydration supports kidney function, circulation, hormone transport, and overall cellular health. If you're on medications that affect fluid balance, talk to your doctor about optimal hydration for your situation. This is such a simple fix, but the impact is real. Your body can't function optimally when it's running on empty. Error number 1, suffering in silence instead of having the conversation, and here we are. The number 1 error, the most damaging, the most common, silence. Gentlemen, I cannot tell you how many men sit in my office and say, "Doc, I should have come in 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I've been dealing with this alone, thinking it was just me." And my heart breaks every time because suffering in silence doesn't protect you. It isolates you. It amplifies shame. And it prevents you from getting help that is absolutely available. Here's what happens emotionally when you don't talk about what you're experiencing. The problem grows in your mind. You start avoiding intimacy because you're afraid of disappointing your partner. That avoidance creates distance. That distance creates tension. And suddenly, you're not just dealing with a physical issue, you're dealing with relationship strain, depression, and a profound sense of loss. Biologically, the stress of keeping this secret elevates cortisol, which, as we discussed, further suppresses testosterone and intimate function. You create a feedback loop where silence makes the problem worse. Practically, this shows up as withdrawn behavior, irritability with your partner, avoidance of physical affection, because you're afraid it might lead somewhere you can't follow through, and a deepening sense of inadequacy. But here's what I need you to understand. What you're experiencing is common, it is treatable, and you deserve support. Here's what to do. Talk to your doctor. Be specific. Don't just say things aren't working. Say, "I'm having difficulty with arousal and it's affecting my quality of life. I want to explore what might be causing this and what options I have." Talk to your partner if you have one. I know this feels vulnerable, but in 12 years of practice, I can count on one hand the number of partners who responded with judgment rather than relief and compassion. Your partner likely already knows something's wrong. The silence is often harder on the relationship than the problem itself. And if you don't have a partner, that doesn't mean you don't deserve to address this. Your intimate health affects your overall vitality, confidence, and quality of life regardless of your relationship status. There are options: medications, lifestyle interventions, therapies. Sometimes it's as simple as adjusting a prescription or adding a supplement. Sometimes it requires more comprehensive approaches, but you won't know until you open the door to that conversation. Silence is not strength, seeking help is. All right, let's bring this together. 7 errors, a lot of information, but what do you actually do with all of this? Here's your action plan. Simple, practical steps you can start this week. Step 1, schedule a checkup with your doctor. Print out this list of 7 errors and bring it with you. Say, "I want to review my medications for side effects, discuss my hormone levels, and talk about my intimate health." That's it. That's the conversation starter. Step 2, make one dietary change this week, just one. Swap out one processed meal for something with leafy greens, lean protein, and healthy fats. See how you feel. Build from there. Step 3, move your body for 30 minutes tomorrow. A walk, some stretches, light weights, whatever feels doable. Commit to consistency, not intensity. Step 4, address your sleep. Tonight, no screens an hour before bed. Cool, dark room, same bedtime. Give your body a chance to produce the hormones it needs. Step 5, practice one stress relief technique daily. Deep breathing, a short walk, talking to someone you trust. 5 minutes counts. Step 6, drink more water. Starting now, keep a bottle with you. Sip throughout the day. Step 7, break the silence. Whether it's with your doctor, your partner, or a trusted friend, say the words out loud. "I'm dealing with something, and I need support. That's courage. You don't have to do all 7 perfectly starting tomorrow. Pick 2, master those, then add another. Progress, not perfection. Before we wrap up, I want to say something directly to you. If you've watched this far, you're probably dealing with one or more of these issues, and I want you to know there is no shame in what you're experiencing. Your body is changing. That's not failure. That's being human. That's being alive long enough to experience the natural shifts that come with decades of living. But here's what I've learned in 12 years of doing this work. Men who understand their bodies, who approach aging with curiosity instead of fear, who seek support instead of suffering alone, those men thrive. Not in spite of aging, but because they've learned to work with their bodies, honor their needs, and make space for both vulnerability and strength. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You are simply at a different season of life, one that requires different strategies, deeper self-knowledge, and the courage to ask for what you need. Your intimate life matters. Your vitality matters. Your dignity matters. And small, consistent changes like the 7 we've discussed today can restore comfort, freedom, and confidence in ways that might surprise you. So here's my challenge to you. Don't let another week go by carrying this alone. Don't let another month pass thinking this is just how it is now, because it doesn't have to be. You've made it to 60, 70, 80, however many years you've lived. You've survived challenges I can't even imagine. You've built lives, raised families, navigated losses and triumphs. You have wisdom, you have strength, and you have the power to understand your body and make choices that support the life you want to live. Age is not the end of vitality. It's not the end of intimacy, pleasure, or connection. It's simply a new chapter that requires new wisdom. And that wisdom, you're building it right now. If this video helped you, if even one section resonated, do me a favor. Hit that like button so I know to create more content like this. Drop a comment below telling me which of these 7 errors you're going to tackle first. And subscribe to this channel because I'm here, every week, having the real conversations about health that men need to hear. Share this with a friend who might need it, because chances are you know someone who's dealing with this silently. Be the person who breaks that silence. Remember, you're not alone in this. Millions of men are navigating the same challenges. The difference is whether you face them with understanding and support or with shame and isolation. Choose understanding, choose support. Choose to take one small step today toward reclaiming your vitality. I'm Dr. Narita, and I'm honored to walk this journey with you. Until next time, take care of yourself. You deserve it.